Hello again, this is Joy Butler. This little segment that I'm doing here is about World Hypnotism Day at ISHI School of Hypnosis. Kron 4 news channel went over there to interview Debbie Livingston and other people at the academy there. And it looks really nice. Not the whole story, okay? They don't want you to know about this. There's actually another clip where Kron 4 went a day or two after their first interview with Debbie. What happened was, I've spoke about Steve Sanchez before. He is a former member of the Spiritual Rights Foundation and ISHI Hypnosis. And he saw the video on the news about ISHI Hypnosis and was shocked because it's a cult and they're portraying themselves as a professional organization that teaches people how to be more of themselves. So what he did is he actually called the news people at Kron 4 and talked to whoever was in charge, and he told them, hey, you know, this place is a cult, and he named what they did, what newspaper articles were out there about them at the time. He said, I think he had written the book by this time, not gave the reporter a book to read. And so what happened is Kron 4 called up Debbie or whoever was there and say, hey, can we do another interview? And of course they said yes, because of course it went wonderful. A news reporter from Kron 4 came in again with the cameras, of course. And now I didn't see this. Okay, so I'm getting it from 2 or 3 other people who saw it. Because at the academy we weren't really encouraged to see it. We were told about it, told about what happened, but apparently we were told a lie. Because I've talked to 2, actually 3 other people about this video. And apparently happened very different than what Debbie Livingston told our class. She was, I believe, my teacher at the time in the clairvoyant training program. So she relayed what happened, just a snippet, and she definitely changed the story to reflect her as really together and everything. But anyways, okay, so what happened on a couple days after World Hypnotism Day? Steve called the reporters, told them this place is a cult, read my book, here's my book, read the newspaper articles written about it. The Kron 4 reporter, a different one, came into the academy, started interviewing Debbie. They were sitting down. The reporter asked a couple quick questions, and then from what I've heard from people is that she pulled out Steve's book, Spiritual Perversion, and showed it to Debbie and said, oh, do you know this book? Do you know Steve Sanchez and this book, Spiritual Perversion? And what I've heard from people who actually watched it, that she froze, like a deer in a headlight. She just froze, became really stiff. She didn't know what to say. And what I heard is that Reverend Angela was sneaking around in the background somewhere like she usually does. She's always there to make sure things are going the way they're supposed to be going at the academy. So apparently Reverend Angela could be heard in the background somewhere floating around the house saying, okay, that's enough, this interview's over. Okay, so anyways, that was the end of the interview. They didn't have a chance to really say anything. Now, I did not see this interview that took place. I heard it from 2 or 3 other people. They seem like good sources. So, yeah, we are looking for that video. We would love to post it on YouTube when we find it. I would personally love to see Debbie's expression when the reporter, you know, pulls out Steve's book, because Steve's book, like, is so funny. Like, people get freaked out if they even say, if anyone says Steve's name. And if you mention the book, like, I don't think anyone there's really read the book except maybe the leadership. Because they have to, right? They have to know the enemy, right? We're discouraged to even look at his book. We weren't even supposed to read it. They definitely suppress information, I would say. Oh, and another story, Mike, my husband, he actually reminded me of this, where there was lots of different people in the room at the time. Some kind of class, don't quite remember what class it was, but Reverend Angela apparently had said she read the whole book. I don't know if that's true or not, or if she just skimmed it. She's not much of a reader. But she read from smallest piece of the book. A piece where Steve talks about some things that he did sexually, like after he left the academy, because he was so sexually frustrated because, well, I'll talk about that later and maybe read some from the book about that. But anyways, she just took this little snippet that really makes him look bad, but it's like there's the whole context missing. So that's kind of what we heard. And basically, don't even bother reading the book because it's crap. And I mean, look at this perverted, evil, horrible man. How dare he throw away the teaching? How dare he try to, you know, take his child away from his mother, which he was not doing. He was just trying to make sure his daughter had the best available education, was in a healthy environment and all that. So, yeah. But anyways, that is the story of World Hypnotism Day, the day after. That, of course, ISHI Hypnosis is not going to show that. So, yes, hopefully we can find that video. But hope that was enlightening for some of you that may not know about that. And, oh, let's see. There is some more. There's some more. I do remember they were talking about in in the year class after this happened, Debbie was saying how, oh, she handled it beautifully. She said, oh, ha ha ha, she laughed it off and whatever. And then she was talking about, oh yeah, and they had technical difficulties and they couldn't even show it, you know, show it on the air at all or at the right time. And she said that was because they did healing work to sabotage the video from showing. Yeah. It's like, you psychically sabotage this news station? Okay, that's kind of weird.